Clare Cooley. This is live stream, I believe, number 8. Yes, it is. And these live streams, there'll be 15 of them, are all about promoting your work, promoting our work. And I am so grateful you're here, and I'm so grateful to the Minnesota State Arts Board and the National Endowment for the Arts for the grants to do these live streams. After these 15 live streams every Monday and Thursday till we reach 15, right before I finish them, I'm going to put up 10 written blogs on this subject. So you'll also have that to avail yourself of what we're learning as we go about promoting our passion in life, finding it and promoting it. Two very different things, finding our passion and promoting it. But we learn as we go, and I'm learning every time I do one of these. And they say the best way to learn is to teach. So I'm so grateful that I get to share this information with you, and I hope it helps you, inspires you, informs you, entertains you, so that you can share your work with the world that I believe really needs each one of us to share. As the Catalyst Creator Spotlight quoted me when they put it up, do what you love and share it with the world. The more we share what we love doing, the more peace, happiness, health, harmony we give our contribution to the world by doing what we love and sharing that. And boy, the world needs us all to step up and be champions of inclusivity and peace and being compassionate toward one another, living in harmony with one another. I like to say it's really not what we believe that is important. How we act is what's important. So go ahead and believe whatever you like, but act kind and respectful and inclusive, and let's live in harmony with the environment. It's our home, and I'm grateful to live on this beautiful planet, and let's do our best, which is why my art is inspired by nature, and why I feel great about my book having more than 60 pieces of my art in it, because nature is what inspires me and is my comfort teacher, safe place. Creative reverie is what is a sanctuary and healing place. So I love sharing that creativity and harmony with ourselves, each other, and nature in my work. So today's live stream is about contacts, our peers, our friends, our associates, and how we can use them to promote our work, whatever it is. This series came from me writing my memoir, which many of you who, if you've seen these before, or my live streams reading excerpts from Incandescence, Rising Above Darkness, I wrote because people asked me to, saying my stories helped them to hope, to heal, to help others that had been through some difficulty. And if we're blessed enough to be born and live long enough, we've all had disappointments, difficulties, sometimes horrible things, traumatic things, abuse. But it is my belief that we can rise above. And one of the ways is accepting it happened, not being ashamed of what happened to us, but proud of what we do with it. And if we heal ourselves so that we can help others, that is a source of pride, not shame. So with these contacts, as the uh, as the subject of this live stream, what we did, and I think this is very interesting, that we started, launched my book on my mother's birthday, my spiritual teacher, my mother, on her birthday, book dedicated to her. And we launched it on a live stream. And just by telling people we know through social media, we got it onto the bestseller Amazon list simply by telling our contacts. So don't feel like I know that many people. I'm almost always working in solitude on my art. I'm not a social butterfly. Um, in fact, since COVID, I've not been out there at all. But I still, we still have connections. Don't ever underestimate the power of your connections. Like I said, Bodhi put it up, helped me with all the technical stuff. He's there today in the video office. So just by putting it up on live stream, I think you have a picture of that, Bodhi, to making it to a bestseller on Amazon. He's given me the thumbs up. There you go. So that was a wonderful and surprising. I would not have anticipated, just by sending out messages to our contacts, the people we actually, know or are connected to through social media, we could achieve that. That's pretty wonderful. And on Goodreads and Amazon, we have been getting, reviews that really help. And Amazon is where most people buy books, so it's a very important place to put reviews. So Bodhi's got one on the screen now that are, I believe, it's what other people say about us, if they actually know us, not gossip and malicious stuff, but what other people say about us, I think, is more important than what we say about ourselves. If they align, that's really powerful. But I love to hear what other people say about people and their work. It's really adds to our credibility. And I wanted to share something I just learned yesterday through a YouTube video. Speaking of which, before I say that, every one of these live streams goes up on my YouTube channel, The Creativity Show, so you can rewatch it or share it with a friend or watch it at any time that's convenient for you if you can't be at the live stream. And all the 150 videos we've done for The Creativity Show, and Bodhi's got, more than 200 on Bodhi the Movie Maker, his YouTube channel. So everything from restoring our home and turning our 100-year-old carriage house into a studio, to stenciling, which I love to. Let me share this stencil. Maybe you can see it better here. And here's the stencil I did it from. And these are going to be available I'm starting a Patreon somewhere around Thanksgiving. And my Patreon members will get access to all the stencils. These are cards from stencils I've done on other clothing and fabric. I just love creativity, and I love making or experimenting, learning, trying anything I want, like the jewelry I make, the stenciled outfits, art to wear. I just love being in creative reverie and learning and growing and trying new things. I find it very inspiring and very fulfilling. And I hope that whether it's the clothing or the jewelry or the book or promoting whatever you do, whether you think it's creative or craft or service, it doesn't really matter. Promoting it is takes imagination and creativity. And so we're all creative, whether we think we are or not. Every person is. Every first grader I ever worked with when I was an artist in residence in the public schools, different school every week, every first grader could dance color, emotions, tell a story with the dance, draw to music, make a poem about the drawing. It's just free flowing creative expression is natural. And the more critical we become, the more we let other people's fear-based control, criticism, take our joy out of experimenting, the harder it is to step into that creative flow, which medically documented, proven, increases our happiness, as well as something I love to repeat often is any emotion we express stimulates our immune system. So it is healthy to express emotion, creativity, artistic expression, music, dance, painting, writing, whatever, home decor, cooking, doesn't matter, getting dressed, making jewelry, whatever creative expression we allow our emotions to be expressed through, we increase our immune system's health and vigor. And when we step into creative reverie, the flow, we increase our happiness and our peace of mind. So all good, and what the world needs more of, not just for us, but the whole world. So that brings me back to what I heard yesterday. It's been very hard for me to promote myself, to even think that promoting myself, it sounds so, I'm very uncomfortable about the idea of saying, oh, look at what I've done. But the truth is, as this person said yesterday, we're not really promoting ourselves, we're promoting an idea. And I remembered when I heard that yesterday, a Hawaiian spiritual person, a priestess I met in Hawaii, who said, when I said I'm very uncomfortable charging for my creativity retreats because it's spiritual work, and she said, charge for your time and give the prayer for their well-being as a gift. And that really worked for me to think about, connect that with this man who was talking about promoting our work on the internet, that we're not really promoting ourselves, we're promoting an idea. And the idea from my book is we can rise above our darkness. And the idea of my art is we can live in harmony with nature. And the idea of everything I do artistically, all the work, the creativity coaching, the idea is we can work together. We can be creatively compassionate. We can be part of the solution. We can strengthen our imaginations and our confidence to express it, and courage to share it with others, and help with participate in the solutions that are ever more challenging in our world, the complexity. And so we need everybody's creative compassion to address these issues. And so I'm a champion of creative compassion. That is the idea that flows through from home decor to outfits to writing, whatever I do, that's the idea. So I'm already, just hearing that and processing it, more comfortable with this promotion idea. And hopefully there's something in these live streams that will help you become more comfortable promoting whatever it is that makes you happy, whatever fulfills you, whatever you love doing, that you can give to the world to make the world a more beautiful and harmonious place. So that's my little diatribe on that. So the newsletter, we're going to talk about, last year we did a newsletter at Thanksgiving. We're going to do the same thing this year. We may get more frequent than once a year, but with 400 videos and writing novels and restoring our grand old home ourselves, we're pretty busy people. But we did a newsletter last Thanksgiving. We're doing one this year, and maybe this Thanksgiving and maybe this coming year we'll be able to get them out twice or 3 or 4 times, maybe once a season. That seems like a good goal. But at least once every Thanksgiving, giving thanks for all that we've been able to do because of the circumstances, and the gratitude we have for our circumstances, and those that have helped us and believed in us, and the grants and the reviews, and all those who have shored us up to believe in ourselves and for each other, to be a mother and son that can work together, which I have a award-winning author friend who said, you should do an episode on how to work with your son, or how your son works with his mother. And I realized, well, that's really a beautiful thing. So we're gonna do that in the future. I'll let you know how and when that's coming out. But as you can see, my son Bodhi asked me to work with him, and he named us Mother Son Productions, and I'm so grateful. I was grateful then, and I still am, and he's waving at me from the next door. and it is very powerful to work with someone who really knows you. My mother and I were very tight as well, and she could tell me anything, and I never took offense. It was always constructive criticism that came from love, and I was never offended. I never felt bad about anything she told me, even though some of it was hard to hear. I knew it came from love, and that's a really important thing, to have someone or a few people in our lives that are not, have no hidden agenda. Their only motivation is to help us get better and be happier and healthier and more productive. I like to call it peaceful, playful productivity. And so to have someone who really knows us and can really help us, because they're so intimately aware of our strengths and weaknesses, our areas of expertise, and our areas that we need to get help and learn from others. It's a very powerful combination. And the young and mature, the male and female, very different. My son and I have totally different aesthetics. He likes, his novel is sci-fi horror. Mine is a true story memoir that has some tough stuff in it, but it's all real. So we're very different and totally supportive, and that's a beautiful combination. And I highly recommend you have somebody, no matter whether it's in your family, often it's not, but someone who will tell you the truth and don't have any agenda other than helping you get your work stronger, get your flow, your the fulfillment you get from it. So the newsletter from last year, do you have a photo of that, Bo?
Yes, I do.
All right. And I think these yearly, if they get to more than yearly, that's fine. But these newsletters, at least once a year, also give us a little reality check about what we've accomplished in the last year. And this is an extremely important point, to celebrate our accomplishments. It's a very critical and a very competitive world we live in. And to stop and appreciate ourselves, which I like to do. Bodhi can tell you this is true. I like to end a day with what did we accomplish today, and start the next day with admiring what we got done the day before, and like have coffee out looking at the home restoration stuff we've been doing while the weather is still good before the heavy snows come. So admire the accomplishments, no matter how small they are. Stop and appreciate yourself for doing it. And that is a very important thing to do. And then the newsletter is just a way to let your contacts stay abreast of what you're doing. So this year's newsletter, before I go on to that, Bo, is there anything you wanted to say about that?
Sure. So about this newsletter that I have up on the screen now, there is also going to be a QR code here on the screen. Scan that to sign up for our newsletter, and we will send you the templates of our newsletters and our press releases so that you can use them for your own. Get a head start on making your newsletter. And yes, I think that the way you describe that a newsletter is just a way of sharing, you know, what you've accomplished and celebrating it. That's a nice way of putting it, reflecting on the positive things. And you can see here with ours, we try to make it reader optimized. It starts with a big title that makes it really easy to understand what's going to happen, then a small little bit of text, and then pictures to keep them hooked and to let them know what's coming, and keep the rest of the newsletter as brief as possible, because people are busy, especially during this time of year. So they'll appreciate it if you figure out how to make your newsletter enjoyable to read, visually organized, so that we can see what we're getting into, and it's not this long scrolling thing. Um, yeah. We use
Great.
MailChimp. It's a free. They have a free version which allows you to send out your newsletter to your contact list. It also allows you to have sign up links, which makes it really easy for people to sign up for your newsletter list and unsubscribe if they no longer want to receive the letters. And the cool thing about MailChimp is it allows you to see analytics, such as how many people opened your emails, specifically who or who didn't, who clicked what links. You can see in this newsletter there's a bunch of links, and so you can see down to the specific person who actually clicked on the links. And you can use that information to improve your next newsletter. And like I said, it can tell you who didn't open your emails, and then you could tailor a newsletter specifically for them and tell MailChimp you want to send it to just them. Or alternatively, you could tailor a newsletter specifically for the people who are most likely to open your newsletter, tailored for just them, and send it to only them. You only get a certain amount of emails for free, so you want to keep that in mind.
Great. Very helpful. Um, yeah, not taking it personal if people don't open it, is part of the practice, is not taking any of it personal. People are busy, people are distracted, people have responsibilities and duties that do sometimes overwhelm them, take up everything they have. And so taking it personal is not wise or generous. Let people show up how and when they can. And if they can't, accept that and forgive it, and don't get any emotional attachment to it. But it is helpful to see, and sometimes tailoring what we put out to whom, when, based on, who has the capacity, who has the bandwidth, and what they're interested in, what is meaningful to them. And certainly it's not necessarily going to be meaningful to everybody. So having that information can be a way of giving those who can appreciate it access to this sort of work, or this group for that sort of work. So knowing those things can be very helpful in tailoring our efforts. Time is a resource that, while we're traveling on Earth at the speed we're traveling at, time is passing. They say if we go fast enough, it passes slower, but I'm not going to get on a light speed starship just so that I'll have more time. That's not going to happen. So meanwhile,
Doesn't change the amount of time the person on the starship has. It just changes the amount of, it changes how time moves for them in relation to other people.
Right. All right. Well, that's a
That was
bit
our
of a
nerd moment.
we just got nerdy on you there, but meanwhile, time, even when you're traveling at the speed of light, which no one can do yet, time is still actually exists, and we need to recognize it is a resource. And as an artist, all my life, I've known, what you do for love is art, and what you don't, for me anyway, I don't give myself, or I try to have times in my life that are, not time bound, so that I can do my art to its best manifestation without well, I only have 2 hours for this, I only have 6 hours for that, whatever. Just give it the time that the art asks for to be created. But I will say this, that when the Museum of Modern Art in San Francisco asked to bring a tour to my home that was still being built up on Mount Tam, I said to Margie, the floor isn't even done yet. She wanted to bring it in a couple weeks, and I'm like, give me 6 months. And we had negotiated back and forth down to, I think, I can't remember exactly what we agreed on, but it was much less than 6 months. And so I had a finite amount of time to finish the projects, and I made a handmade copper stair rail that was like a wisteria branch, and I etched wisteria into the glass, and I painted all the walls with this mottled wood glue, wood tint, texturing, and I did all the art, and I did all the framing, and I made dishes, and blah, 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 blah. So there was a lot yet to do in this time I had. So for the first time in my life, I've always done exhibitions, and so you have a finite amount of time before people walk through the door to see the art. But this was a huge, multifaceted project. There's some of the art and dishes, but do you have any easy to get to for that home I'm talking about? Do we have any of the
I
7
could
levels?
pull something up.
Well, I'm talking about this, but this is what I learned. I said, okay, you have this amount of time. Put down all the projects you want to get done. Now list them in priority order. Now, here's the amount of time you have. So divide it up. And so the top things got, done first. most important to me to get done, but you have 2 hours for this, you have 6 hours for that, you have 1 day for this, you have 2 days for that, you have 4 hours for this. And I stayed to my production schedule, being the director and the worker. Um, and I learned something very important, which is that when I gave myself this schedule, and I've been using this ever since, I did some of my best work because I had no time, literally no time for my critical doubt, self-deprecating that everybody has, including me. I had no time to entertain that. I didn't even you know, I don't got any time to listen to your negativity, you negative mind. I have this work to do. I've got this amount of time to do it. So just, be quiet, leave, go away. Just leave me alone and I'm getting this stuff done. And I realized that giving myself no opportunity for the negative voice, the critical voice in my own head, to even speak up, just follow my instincts and go for it. I did some of my best work. So now I've been living by that ever since. And that's, for me, the way to go. It's like these live reads. I give myself a certain amount of time to prepare the information I'm going to share, and then I go. And it's all in there. We have instincts, we have intelligence, we have the things we've observed in our lives to call from. And if we don't let the doubt interrupt us and silence us, we have beautiful stuff, meaningful stuff to share. And so trust yourself is the point of all of that. And share yourself, and celebrate having the courage to trust yourself and the commitment to finish something and the courage, bravery it takes to share it. So that's what a newsletter is. It's sharing yourself, and it's strengthening your connection with your contacts by letting them know what you've been up to, whether you got to see them personally in this last year or not, which we didn't because we've been very cautious not to be spreaders of COVID, and we've been using this time to do this time-consuming, production schedule, and to avail ourselves of these big projects that do take a lot of focus, concentration, and time. So I like to call it the silver lining of the COVID cloud, is being able to focus on this work that takes a lot of concentration and courage. And being able to do that without distraction is a silver lining of the COVID cloud. Another has been not needing to go places to stay inspired and happy, not needing to get in vehicles. There's been a lot I've learned through this that I didn't know before. And I've used this time not that I'm always happy about it. And of course, I wish it didn't happen and wasn't still happening, this illness going around the planet, but it is the reality. So find the good in it. So the good is I've learned that we can keep ourselves peacefully, productively, playfully, going. Walks are a dandy way to get outside, breathe fresh air, see new views, get exercise, refresh the mind. We don't have to get in a vehicle to drive somewhere to be happy. We don't have to do the complexity that most of us, and before COVID, I was part of, thinking I had to drive someplace regularly, often. I've discovered in this last 3 years, I don't need to do that, and I can stay happy. There are times it's challenging, but I'm up for, you know, rising to the occasion, the challenge, and not contributing to global warming and putting things in the atmosphere by driving or getting in vehicles. It's another silver lining of the COVID cloud is to walk lighter on the earth. Better for me, better for the environment. So this, some of this I will distill in the newsletter, but the newsletter will have a way to let the contacts in your life to bond with them, and you know, let them know that you care about them by sending it to them, that they're still in your heart and in your life, even if you haven't gotten to see them. So this year's format for the newsletter will be the videos we've done in this time and are finishing, and that's, you know, what I'm trying to find the number here, something close to 256 videos created and put on Bodhi the Movie Maker, and 147 on the Creativity Show, including everything that, you know, I talked about, the tour of the house and the projects in the house and the stenciling, how to stencil, and I call it fine, frugal, and fabulous fashion, and all kinds of different uses for stencils on walls, on platters, on signs, on scarves, on cards, and then the stencils, with Bodhi's help, are turning into inner something you can purchase off the internet, download, and use yourself. If you have a Cricut cutter, you can have the Cricut cutter cut it. If you don't, I'm going to do a video showing how you can download this. It's called a scalable vector graphic, meaning you can make it any size you like, and how you can cut it with a razor blade or a hot knife. I've got some videos already about that out there in the Creativity Show, but we're going to be also sharing that Bodhi started a video when he was 16. I'm so proud to say that my son, helping me digitize my portfolio, said, I have to do a documentary on you. The world needs to see what you do. And I thought, well, this is the profession he wants, is to be a movie maker. So this will be a good project to learn the skills of this that are required. And so he did a documentary called Life of Art, and now he's updating it, which he's done, I guess, a couple times in the last years, but now he's updating it to include everything to date. So that'll be coming out soon. And then there's his animated short on his, inspired by his book, Northport 1999, that he's done on Unreal Engine. And he's also done a number of videos, short and long, on YouTube through his Bodhi the Movie Maker channel. You can see them on how to build your own PC, how to work in Unreal Engine, make your own animated film, all kinds of technical stuff, as well as he's got some cute, funny, fast-talking tongue twisters and just entertaining stuff. But he's also got some very informative stuff on the technical part. His expertise and fascination is, you know, using the technology to share your art with the world. Create your content and share it. So, like I said, we're very different. I'm a very hands-on. You know, I like every kind of artistic tool, from music making to writing to dancing to visual art to home decor. And he likes all the technology, which works really well together. And hopefully you have someone in your life that has very complementary skill sets to your own. So we both done live streams. His is every Saturday at 4. And his, like I said, is about his book and the technical stuff he's learned in order to, uh, you know, build a PC so that he had the high capacity graphics card that animated movie requires, and how he's learned to, through Unreal Engine, to make his first animation. So that's pretty exciting. And in this, since we've been here, I don't know exactly how long, but we've gotten a number of grants that have allowed us to keep going and keep exploring and keep focusing on bringing our creative content out and helping others, hopefully, have more confidence in sharing their spending, believing in themselves and what they can create, and sharing it with others. So I've gotten another grant to write my next nonfiction book, which is pretty wonderful and pretty exciting and intimidating all at the same time. And you can tell it's for me. I feel like if something is challenging and a little bit scary, that's a great area to go in and explore, because I'm going to be learning things I didn't already know, and that's very rewarding. So this next book will be a very gratifying experience and challenging and all of that. So another thing that will be is a good subject for any newsletter to connect with your contacts is any interviews. So, we've gotten Perfect Day Duluth and KUMD and multiple podcasts and Congdon Magazine and all of these places that have done interviews are great resources and links to put in your newsletter. As Bodhi said, having a link so that if they want to go further, if they have the time and the interest to go deeper, they can go to that link. But just to mention these things briefly, so that, assuming people are preoccupied with the demands and responsibilities, interests of their life, distill it, and then give them a way to go deeper with the links, and including like the book, mine, which we chose to self-publish because I didn't want to compromise all the art I wanted to put in it. So there's a color version and a print version that's also black and white, which if I would have gone through a big publisher, they would have wanted me to have less art in it or keep it black and white. And I wanted to be able to include all of the art between every short story in my book. So I could share what helped me get through, what helped me rise above darkness was finding the peace in nature and believing in the harmony producing creative reverie, the natural world that is creates its own balance. And so having the natural world inspired art between each chapter, some of them, each story, some of them very difficult, traumatic things I went through, a moment of rest, a moment of meditating on nature and the peace in nature was very important to me. So we decided to self-publish. So an ebook and print black and white and color for a couple more bucks. I think the color's the way to go because of all the art in it and 40 photographs. So over 100 color pieces in the book. The audio book, we made our own audio studio down in the cellar. I call it the underground gallery down there, which we'll share it. I think we have some videos out on turning our musty, moldy cellar into a dry and lovely, no mold, no mildew down there, and turned it into what I call the underground gallery. Lots of art, and we even built a shop down there in a space we excavated under a funky old deck. So we have videos of all of this stuff we've done, hoping to inspire you to make your life a little more every day what you'd like it to be. And so the audio book that we recorded in that audio booth we made ourselves, and we show how we did that, will be out at some point in the hopefully not too far off future, one thing at a time. And Bodie's entire book, Northport 1999, is available to his Patreon members, which he's had the Patreon membership out for a bit. And also his animation is available to his members, and you can go to Patreon. I think Bodie, the movie maker, maybe you want to come on and say how that they can get there, or I see you're showing a.
Sure, yeah, they can scan that QR code or go to patreon.com/Bodie the movie maker.
Great. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have my first Patreon, which is exciting and nerve-wracking, sometime close to Thanksgiving, where for no extra fee, the members will get every SVG scalable vector graphic for all there's the first one that's out, and here's 4 cards that recently, so I've literally got close to 300, and I'll keep going, stencil designs that one after another are going to keep coming out, and members will have access to all of them. And other people who are not Patreon members will be able to get them at about $3 a piece off my web store Bodie built for me with my art and prints, and Etsy, and eventually a few other places, I'm sure. But Patreon members will get any and all of them with no extra fee, as well as the videos that will be instructional and hopefully inspirational on how and where you can use them. So that's coming. And another thing that's in our newsletter out to our contacts will be Bodie built a platform for Catalyst, the world's largest episodic film festival, for their members and for the content creators and producers to find each other. And he's also been asked to work on and improve their website. So that's been something he's still doing and has began in the recent past. So that'll be more information to give our contacts. And exhibitions, since we've been here, I've done 2 Carpellis Museum exhibitions, one on Sentinels of Serenity on the cranes, and the other on warblers and wildflowers, 26 original pieces, 26 different warblers and wildflowers. And my pollinator one of my milkweed and monarch was selected by Pheasants Forever as their pollinator print of the year. And we've done, before COVID, a number of home shows here, and we're going to get back to that when it's safe, and screenings. So we're looking forward to that. But meanwhile, I've long had this goal and ambition of reaching out to anybody in the world that has internet connection through this way to walk on the earth lightly through the internet. So not only do you not have to drive or fly to connect with people, so you're not, contributing to pollution that way, but you can reach people anywhere they have internet connection and or an access to, the stuff that's I guess somebody could have downloaded and shared with them. So I'm very, very grateful for this time, the aspect of this time to allow us to focus on getting these, 400 videos out. And we're on a roll now. I'm actually getting more comfortable in front of the camera, sneezing in front of the camera at one of the last, I guess, 2 live streams ago. Was really a very liberating moment. It happened, big deal, move on. So it's funny what we're intimidated by, and then we do it and we laugh at ourselves, if you're me. So we're going to continue connecting through the internet, even when it's safe to have home shows, but it will be lovely to do the in-person book signings and screenings and home shows. And the last category in our contact connection venue, the newsletter we call it, is creativity coaching, which we've done a number of different ways since we've been here up at UMD, at the Women's Club. A judge in town asked me to work with mental health court clients and rehabilitation court clients, as well as with the lawyers and judge and other facilitators, the probation officers and counselors that work with these clients. So that was really wonderful. And I love, as equal to creating myself, I love helping people increase their connection to their imaginations and their confidence to express it and courage to share it with others. So that's what it's all about. And hopefully there's something here that ignited your enthusiasm to express and explore and enjoy your own creativity and share it with others. And please let us know if you have any questions or comments. And the next live read, anything we don't get to on this one, we'll try to get to on that one. So speaking of which, Bo, do you have any questions that?
Yes.
Great.
Great. All righty. Let's look at the chat here. So, personal recommendations can be powerful in expanding your network, but I often have trouble encouraging my readers to share reviews. How do you do that?
Well, I ask them. I just ask people for reviews, and I say, what other people say about us can be more believable than what we say about ourselves. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bullshit in the world. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of just falseness. So I do think what other people say about us is extremely important. So I just ask them to please give me their honest reaction, their honest feedback. And even if it's not favorable, which I am very happy to say actually does not happen about the book, because I think most people are good. And when you're just trying to help people, people don't really have anything negative to say about it. Now, maybe if I was writing a romance novel or something else, maybe I'd get some negative feedback, but I honestly haven't. And I certainly don't want to encourage that, so don't feel like you have to do that. But I'll try not to take it personal, even if it is negative. I have heard negative things in my life. Trust me on that. But so just to ask people and tell them that it would really mean a lot to you, and it's very helpful for uh, for promoting an idea of a piece of work. And if they're not comfortable to do it publicly, maybe they can do it privately, and you can leave their name off it if they don't want their name on it. So offer them options. And I'm a big believer in asking for what you want in a way that doesn't shame or pressure people, but hopefully inspires them.
That's great. Yeah, and there are ways that you can share a link to make it really easy for people, not just the link to your book, but a link to specifically the review section on Amazon or Goodreads. So you can send people who comment about your book to you in like if they give you a review in a text message or on Facebook, you can ask, hey, could you go put that on Amazon? Here's the link. And when they click it, it takes them right to the review space and it's already open. All they have to do is type it again or copy and paste it. So that's nice. There's another thing you can do, which is a review raffle. Now, a disclaimer here, you are not allowed, especially on Amazon, to incentivize people to give you reviews. Like if you give me a review, you'll win an award. You can't do that. That's not proper. But you can make a raffle where if people click that link, which then takes them to the review place, and then just by clicking that link, they're entered into a raffle. And you have to track that through something like MailChimp. Remember earlier I was telling you it can tell you who clicked your links? So you can send out an email called Book Review Raffle. If you click this link, you are entered into a raffle. The truth is they don't have to then go leave a review. All they have to do to be entered into the raffle in order for you to be following Amazon's rules is click that link. And then you want to put in a disclaimer at the bottom, I'm not incentivizing you to, I just really want to hear what you think. So don't take my word for it. You might have to go look at Amazon's review their policy because it changes. So make sure to do that before you do anything like that. Follow anyone's advice online. Check the fine print. But that is one way to incentivize people to do reviews. But definitely just reach out to anybody who says something nice about your book in person in a text message on Facebook and ask them to put that in a review. Make it as easy for them as possible. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah, so making things easy, as Bodhi has said, put the link in there so it's easy for them is very helpful in life, because we're all, doing a lot. Life is a lot, and no matter what. So the easier we make it for them, the more likely they will take the time to do it. So there you go.
and it's also consistency and patience. It doesn't happen right away, and you might have to ask people multiple times through different ways. Send them emails, send them text messages, send them Facebook messages.
Yeah, and I've had the experience of people that I admit I was taking it personal that I didn't hear back from them, that after they got the book. And some people, who I thought were really important people, I feel are really important people in my life that didn't say anything. And sometimes I had to directly ask, I'd really appreciate hearing what you think of the book. And they can then, they know what they have to say is important to me. And some of them said things that just changed my life. They were so gratifying and, just warmed my heart so deeply. But I had to ask for it because a lot of times people don't know what they have to say is that important to us. So it's our responsibility to let them know it is that important. And I've had that experience a number of times where I was like hurt. They didn't say something of their own volition, but it turns out it's because they didn't know how important it was to me or that it was important at all. So it is. And honestly, in my down moments, which I have like every other human being, sometimes the reviews, there's that last review that was anonymous. Is that available, Bo? Do you have
I
that one?
muted myself. One moment. I was talking. I muted myself. Yeah, I'll put that up in a moment. So you can see here the link. This is on YouTube. This is a link to leave a review on Amazon. If you could click that, it takes you to exactly what I was saying. And I also have one for Goodreads. I'll put that up in a second. But let me put up that review. I believe this is it.
Would you read it? Because I actually can't read
Yes.
it.
5 stars. Beautiful read. Beautiful story that takes you through the ups and downs and at times trauma. But just like the title says, you can rise above.
And I will share authentically with you all that Bodhi read that to me at a time when I was having some serious self-doubt. And I was funky and low. And he read me that anonymous quote, and it just filled my heart with joy. And I don't know who wrote that. That's not the part that matters, though. Whoever you are, I hope you get to hear this, how much that meant to me. But, I've said this many times, I do art for myself, but I share it for others. And I'm not fulfilled on there is health and harmony and happiness that comes from doing it, but the fulfillment comes from moving others. And that's universal. Whatever work we do, whatever effort we put out in the world, helping others, moving others, inspiring others, that's where the real fulfillment comes from. So there you go.
Delightful.
And you have any other questions?
Yes, I do.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Well, we've gone an hour, so how about one more question, and then we'll save the rest for next week, next Monday at 11?
Okay. You've mentioned that your exhibitions back in the day would get loads of visitors. You said at the time it was a snail mail and phone calls. Tell me about that and how you bring that into this era.
Yeah, that's good. Back when I started showing my art, it was, pre-email internet proliferation. And so it was call people, tell people, and then I got a little more organized and I made invitations. And, when my mother was alive, her beautiful handwriting to address them and send them to people. So this is just the next step in from running into people at the general store to calling people to emailing people to now internet, social media, event pages. And so it's just, the internet is a tool. And the phone was, a wonderful after the telegraph. So it's just the next tool in connecting, and it's all about connecting with each other. So bring your heart, bring your authentic, unique, beautiful self, and reach out to the unique, beautiful other person, and connect with them and invite them. And as I've shared before in one of these live streams, a big, very successful gallery owner in San Francisco many years ago said, "How do you get so many people to your exhibitions?" Which I would always have in my humble apartments. And, say, if I meet a nice person, I keep their address and their phone number. And then when I have an exhibition, I invite them. And that's it. That's the thing. So I'd like to wrap it up today by saying word of mouth, one person telling another. There's nothing more, in my opinion, powerful, heartwarming, effective than you tell a friend. People asked me to write this book, so I did. Then I got a grant to talk about promoting it. And for me, of all the things you can do, there's nothing more important than connecting with one human being, opening one heart. So I really, really appreciate it when you tell a friend about these live streams, about the book, about my work, about connecting. And that's the gold right there. Tell a friend. And I really appreciate it. So thank you for being here, and thank you for encouraging me to keep going and keep sharing and keep fulfilling myself. And hopefully there's something here that helped you do the same. And I really appreciate you being here and telling a friend. So see you next Monday at 11, or check out the Creativity Show. In the live stream category, all of these go up there as soon as I'm done. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bodhi. Thank you, Minnesota State Arts Board, National Endowment to the Arts, and see you Monday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, YouTube. Bye,